and welcome back to another video. It's MTD if you are new, and right now we're going to get into a glamorous look, and while we're getting into makeup, we're going to be chatting. You can go ahead and grab a beverage. It's water for me today. I'm trying this alkaline water, something different that I picked up that I wanted to try. You can definitely have a glass of wine. You can have a little shot of vodka, gin, tequila. Who knows? It's your prerogative. This here is going to be basically just a life update. Now, I did go ahead and do my brows. This is just a simple brow for me. I don't know where this look is going. It can be dramatic or it can be something simple. First and foremost, I wanted to talk about life update as far as dating. I'm a plus size girl, so oftentimes I find it really interesting just some of the approaches that I get. I don't know if you ladies can relate being plus size or just being a woman, period, but I'm starting to get approached by a lot of older gentlemen, and I don't want to say starting, because honestly, throughout my entire life, once I started to mature and, get a little bust, get a little hips, whatever, I started to notice that men really showed a huge interest in me, period. Now, here's the thing. That's not my first choice to be with an older gentleman at all, honestly. I do like the idea of having someone my age. I feel like we can relate on topics more so. I feel like an older gentleman would find me as maybe not up to speed or kind of immature because of the things that I may be interested in. That's what I always thought. But as I've gotten older, I realized that I am a little mature than what I think. If I'm comfortable with you, we can kiki all day, joke, have a good time. But when it comes down to topics and just issues that need to be addressed in a more mature manner, I do notice that I can, boss up or just have that confidence to maintain a conversation eloquently, if that makes any sense. So I don't know if I hate it or love it, honestly. But here's the new, because y'all, if you watch my channel sporadically throughout my channel, I will talk about dates, encounters, things that happen awkwardly. That is kind of like, aside from just fashion and glamour, I do tell y'all what's going on. So if you remember in my last vlog, I mentioned that I met this guy. Met this guy in the most random of spots, and we got to talking. And when I say we got to talking, we're talking like maintaining such a beautiful conversation as far as just a flow. Not more so a beautiful conversation, more so just a flow. So as I'm talking to you, I'm looking for my tools to start the eye, because I want to do something smoky. So when I met him, we're just basically, I'm trying to get to the meat of the matter. Every time I meet someone, I want to know where we're going with this, because I don't want to date aimlessly anymore. I definitely don't want to be just a girlfriend and then you break up. I want to meet someone that wants to be in my life for basically to the end of times. I'm looking for a husband, basically. So with that being said, I'm like, what do you want from me? As soon as he walks up, what do you want from me? And he's like, oh, I just seen you. I thought you was nice looking, and I just wanted this, basically, can I get your number? So I'm like, okay, I guess. And I wound up giving him my phone number. Mind you, we had talked for like an hour where we met. So I'm like, okay, cool. He seems like he can hold a conversation. He's kind of funny, and a lot of things that we were discussing we kind of had a like mind on the topic. So I said, okay, I'm kind of feeling him in terms of what we were talking about. But as far as attraction, he was older. He was 47. I'm 33. He was 47. I'm like, I don't know what this means for me to keep running into these older men, but okay. So we're talking, we're at it, and just to put it out there, I don't know if it's necessarily going in the direction in which I want it to. And no, I'm not looking for anyone to be like, oh, I want to marry you tomorrow. That's not my speed at all. I was just expecting something more. So we're talking and we have exchanged numbers, basically asking me, when can we cuddle? When can we cuddle? That's what he says in a text. Now, we have had a couple of conversations. He seemed pretty cool. But I'm like, what do you mean? When can we cuddle? I'm confused. Cuddle? I didn't know that was part of the agenda so soon. So I never answered it. I actually act like I didn't even see it, to be quite honest. So we get to talking on the phone and we're talking about everything under the sun. Religion, we're talking about kids, we're talking about, our favorite meals, what I had for dinner, how was the day at work. Like, we were on the phone for 3 hours. 3 entire hours. 3 hours. Good conversation. Bomb. I thought he forgot about the text that he sent out when he was like, oh, when can we cuddle? We never talked about it. He never brought it up. I act like I never even seen it. Finally, he said, before we hung up the phone, and it's late. Like, we started the conversation at 10. It ended at about 1 o'clock. So it's going on 1 o'clock in the morning, and we have been discussing heavy, just everything. And I mean, when I say everything, we was talking about like personal shit. I got to talking about, the passing of, my father, and I don't know why, but still it's a sensitive topic. So he doesn't know, but I'm kind of like sobbing about it on the other end. But he had like the best response as far as how the conversation came up. So I'm like, damn, I'm really feeling him, even though he's so older, and then he's not even but yay high. That's another key. A lot of men that approach me are short men. I'm confused. Like, I like a tall man, period. But I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give you a try because you seem like you got some sense. I'm trying to not worry about looks all the time. I'm worried about looks, but I'm trying to height. I may excuse it a little bit. The dude is like 5'5" with brown eyes. It's the funniest thing, but that's what it was. So I'm like, he can be a friend. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. So we're talking, and finally, before we hang up the phone, he's like, well, yeah, I text you, and I was like, I wanted to see what is the best day and time where me and you could cuddle. And suddenly, it was like a switch. Like, the conversation was sweet as pie. I'm being more than soft. I'm not like a hard female. I'm not talking aggressively. I'm not talking even at the tone that I'm talking to the camera right now. So I'm like, okay, that's not in lines with what I want. So he's like, well, what do you mean by that? I'm like, here's the thing. Been through a lot, prayed about a lot, and at this stage of the game, I'm sick of men coming at me like, oh, when can we chill? Can you come to my house and have a drink? Oh, I'll cook you a meal at my house, or I'll come to your house and cook. No. What happened to the whole speed of men saying, oh, get dressed, let's go out to a restaurant, let's go out to a park, let's visit a festival, let's go to a concert, something to look forward to, an experience. So he's like, well, I'm in this situation right now, and I'm trying not to tell all his business because I'm not downing him, because he seems so cool. Oh my God. So he's like, I'm in this situation and I can't really be seen out with a lady because it can basically hinder me and being able to see my kids. So I'm like, still, it didn't faze me, because I'm like, in the sense of me protecting your situation, I'm still being treated like a slide. And that's not the case. I'm not trying to just come to your house and have sex with you, because those type of intimate situations where it's just me and you, TV, like, and suddenly we're playing like comfy cozy, like we knew each other for 100 years, sex is going to come to play. Like, stop playing with me. So he was just like, well, person that I invite, to come chill with me doesn't understand, that can mess up my relationship with my kid's mother. And I can basically be in a situation where I don't get to see my kids the way I want to. Then maybe that's not the person for me. I said, by all means, if you feel like that, that's fine. Maybe I'm not the person for you. Like, as long as we've been talking, we've been carrying on all evening. You bringing the smoke, but you actually saying that this is a deal breaker for you. I said, listen, I understand. Maybe we can do a certain time, a certain place. Maybe we don't have to be in the same city, but and even that compromise was, now that I'm thinking about it, was a bit much. But I said, I don't want to come to your house. You know what I mean? I want to be wined and dined, period. So with that being said, that's the type of thing that has been happening. And I'm not going to continue on, because after a while, he just got the hint. And I respected what he said. If we never come to sitting across from each other, having a meal or a glass of wine or something like that, hey, that's his love. So yeah, that's the update with the dating situation. A lot of men are looking for the easiest way to court a female. And I honestly feel like if it's all about, sex at the end of the day, because I'm trying to be mature and not do a lot of cussing. If it's all about sex at the end of the day, what are we doing here? Like, maybe that should be your intro when you walk up. I'm a sex addict. I just want to do it all day and night. And I'm never going to take you out. And give that female the opportunity to say, well, that's not my, that's not my MO. That's not what I want. And give her the lane to just walk off. But that's not the case. They want to be in your ear for an hour on end and say how beautiful you are and agree with everything you got to say and get you to fall for them, basically. And then they hit you with the line that just takes you completely out. So I'm not going to break down what I'm doing, because there's a lot of tutorials. We're just getting glamorous together, period. I do a lot of blending, though. Honestly, lately, I feel like after I really prayed to God and I was like, there's so many things that I want and there's so many things that I need, but I still want to have the best relationship with you and the best understanding with you. This is me talking to God. And I'm like, if a person or a situation or something isn't for me, let me know right then and there. In so many words, I can say I have asked for that. I can meet someone within the same day, and once that red flag goes off, it doesn't last. I never hear from them again. They never hear from me again. It's almost like an interview. So I don't know what to say. But I know how I feel and what I want. And if it's not conducive to that, then yeah, we don't have to drag it out. So sometimes honesty is the best thing for me. So that's why I always say, like, what are we doing? Or it's, it's kind of cliche to ask, what are you looking for? Because some of these people aren't looking for anything, It doesn't happen like that. Sometimes it's a flow. So, it's a series of, they may have someone else. They may be talking to someone else. No one is going to say, let's be boyfriend and girlfriend, flat out. No one is going to say that. That's high school. What I will say is, you can tell when it's going nowhere. So, yeah, that's the update with dating. I feel like no one is dating anymore. Everybody is hooking up. After that era of, it's a reason why they came out with the term Netflix and chill. That was kind of like an era. After that era, motherfucker don't even have to have Netflix no more. Excuse my language. At all. He can just have a good old DVD, okay, or how do you say it? He can just have TV, and he just wants you to come over and sit on his whatever. Sometimes these fools don't even have beds, they have futons and all kinds of craziness. It's a setup. So, you really got to be careful. And then the good ones have a type, and sometimes you don't fall into that type. It's a lot of men out here that love plus size women, love everything about us. When they see us, they just want us, but they're scared of what someone else may think, so they hide us. They date us in secret, and we get approached with those type of things like, oh, come to my home, or let's go see a late night movie, let's take a drive. What is a drive? So with that being said, it's just a lot of foolery going on. And we as plus size women, plus size dating, because that's the topic that we're touching right now, we just want more. We want more. So I do use a rag to kind of clean the area as I go. So I'm nobody's secret, because at the end of the day, I have a lot going on. You have a lot going on. You're a boss. I'm a boss. I deserve to be treated like a queen, because the what I have in the bag for you, what I have in store for you, I have not met that person, but what I have to offer you is amazing. It's something that, honestly, if you're the right person, you don't really have to do much. You know what I mean? And I expect the same from you. You should have a beautiful setup for me. But child. These people be on a different type of vibe. So I want to do that type of eye where the lid really pops. Now, I never really did this before, so I am going to play with some concealers. And these products are inexpensive. I have a whole bunch of e.l.f. I have some Miss A. I got all types of stuff over here. So I do have a lot of Lash Party products, which is my line. I will be wearing my lashes, so I'm going to work on one of these. If you buy this package, you get 5 lashes. I've been using them up. And I do sell name brand stuff, so like Better Than Sex. I don't know if it's going to focus, but Better Than Sex is one of my mascaras. So yeah, I want to do a really popping type of eyelid. So on to the next topic, which is finances and just being realistic. I wanted to get into cash stuffing. If you're familiar with cash stuffing, just put in the comments a money sign if you're familiar with cash stuffing. So I'm not going to tell you all of what cash stuffing really is, because I'm just learning, all of the details. I'm watching a lot of videos on it, looking for challenges to go about saving. I really want to save $50,000. But realistically, child, I want to open up an IRA. I want to do a whole bunch of stuff. I just got big goals. Like y'all know that new saying that's out, think big, bitch. And it's like this guy said, you know what your problem is? You're not thinking big, bitch. And he say it hard as hell. But I have been thinking so big that things can really get away from me. Like, I feel like a lot of people look at me in confusion because it's so much that I want out of life that, child, I don't know how I'm gonna get it, but the motivation is there. So that's where I'm at with it. I'm thinking big. So with that being said, I have a lot of coins, and coins do add up. And I always get a lot of random ones. But for the most part, I do use my debit card a lot. To the point where loose change and ones and things of that nature, it's kind of hard for me to come by because on a good day, I really don't carry no cash. So I'm trying to get into, like, do I want to do cash, have a spending limit, take that out and have a little bit of cash on me at times? Or how can I go about cash stuffing without having so much cash on me or in my home? Now, when I used to waitress, this would have been ideal. You know what I mean? But even when I used to waitress, that very night, because my ex used to be so money hungry, he had like an addiction to marijuana, but couldn't afford it. Always asking me for $5, and honestly, it wasn't even $5. It would be $5 to $10 to $20 to $40. Because if I'm not a weed smoker, but if y'all are weed smokers, they would get like those big chunks of weed, like an ounce or whatever. I don't know. But he would smoke that within a day, child. So he would ask me all the time for money whenever he was broke. And before I knew it, I wouldn't have it. So I would be like, oh, I made $20. Or I only made $30. It was a slow night. And after I would get off of work, I would go right to Rite Aid. They had like these little cards, like these little fast cash cards that you can load up. I would load up my money every night and put my tips in there, $80, $100. And it would go to my PayPal and it would just sit there. So that was my version of, cash stuffing. But I really want to just get into stacking my bread. But there's a young lady that I've been watching that's been doing these tutorials on cash stuffing. And I'm like, damn, this bitch get money. Like, and it just be a couple of dollars, but this girl be stuffing like $1,000 in this savings account and towards her home and car insurance, all this money that she got. I'm like, what the hell does she do other than this shit? Child, she later says, sweetheart, in terms of what I noticed, she later goes to say on the channel, she doesn't pay any bills, at least at the time of that taping. She's like, I don't pay any bills. All I have is, I take care of my daughter, at the most. And, I take care of my car expenses and probably like a cell phone. But she says she doesn't pay any bills. She still lives with her parents. And she still had a little part-time gig. But child, her little part-time gig was pulling in, we pulling in the same amount because I'm part-time too. So I'm like, damn, how can I do this? But I got bills, cell phone bill. Now I got car insurance. Now I have, I got electric, gas, all of that. And it's like, I don't think I can stuff as much as she's stuffing. Like, I can stuff $5. I can stuff $5, but where is that really going to get me? You know what I mean? So I'm like, damn, how can I be realistic about my savings? How? And it just gets me really down because I just be thinking. So I'm still looking for another job that I love. I don't want to do anything that I hate. So I do encourage women, It's hard for women to really do certain things, especially if you hate it, because of a million and one things. If you're very goal oriented and you have a degree or whatever, you are going to constantly push yourself. And if it's something that you hate and it doesn't pop out and you're like not feeling it, you're just not feeling it. But I'm trying to figure out, should I do like this little green color, which I've done before. I love it. It's very pigmented. Pigmented. Or should I continue on with like that pretty girl goldish type of vibe? With that being said, I do recommend you find something that you love, because if you hate the job, it just brings on new stresses and new reasons to think that you need to treat yourself. And not all the time should that be the case. Like, I feel like I've been very, I don't have any wiggle room. I don't have much wiggle room to say, oh, let me treat myself every 5 minutes. The latest thing that I treated myself on is getting my feet done. I've been doing my own feet, and I've been doing press-ons, which I hate doing press-ons. I spoke on that in one of my vlogs. But I've been trying to cut corners. But no matter what, if you're not making that amount that you should be making, you cannot cut corners, period. So, with that being said, I'm basically just wondering what to do. So, on the finance end, I'm still penny pinching and trying to just get at it. And you know what? I got my LLC at the beginning of the year. And I feel like the moment I got my LLC is the moment when business started to slow down. And y'all know that I'm a fashion designer, so a lot of the clientele that I have been getting is prolonged projects more so. I have been getting clients where they want me to walk them through the whole beauty process. And I love that. Y'all seen when I made that gown for my client and she invited me to the wedding and I dressed her and we had her face done and all of that. I love stuff like that. Love it. I just wish it was more consistent where I can quit my part-time job and just focus on my brand. But I feel like the moment I got my LLC is the moment where things started to slow down. And I feel like this strongly correlates with my next issue. When you have goals and things that you want to achieve, you have to remember that it's for you and it's not for anybody else. So when I got my LLC, I got a whole bunch of likes, but my clientele had kind of declined. And I even had family and friends that were shopping elsewhere. And I'm like, why are they shopping elsewhere when they know what I do? But I have to remember that family and friends is not going to always be my client. They're just not going to always be my client. So when I got my car and I finally had, the keys and it was running well and everything was good, I was like, damn, none of my girlfriends reached out and said like, damn, bitch, you got your wheels. Yes, bitch. Nobody reached out. And I'm like, that's strange, And it got to the point where I'm calling them just to look for conversation and checking in. And I'm like, bitch, I know you see my posts. And they're like, oh, you got your car. And one girl, I can't even get her on the phone. And I consider her like my, my longest standing friend. And I can't even get this girl to respond to a text or return a call. I swear I'm blocked. But I wouldn't know why, but I swear I'm blocked. So with that being said, it just threw me off and it kind of made me sad. And I'm like, why am I sad? Like, I got a car now. I shouldn't be sad. But it's like, bitch, you got a car, but you ain't got no girlfriends to hang out with. Or you don't really have much plans when you're off. So I'm like, damn, I really just got to pour into my, myself more, my vlogging and stuff like that. But I really wish that my bitches was around. It just makes me wonder, Are people really happy for people anymore? That's the thing. That's the business. That's the moral of the conversation. Are y'all really happy for anybody? Or do you even give a fuck? Or are you even considering their success major? This is something that I've been praying for a very long time. Aside from, amongst other things, I want this, I want that. But I've been praying to have my own vehicle. And a lot of people don't know this, but I literally spent, I don't know how much I spent, but I literally took 1,000 Lyft rides. Lyft had messaged me in some capacity and said, congratulations, you have been a long-standing customer. They gave me $50 out of nowhere. You are on your 998th ride. You have ridden with us 1,000 times. And I'm like, the fuck? I said, I cannot believe I spent so much money with Lyft. It really was just a milestone to get this vehicle and have everything going well with that. And I don't have a car note. Like, I literally own my car. I never owned the car. I never owned the home. So I was just really happy that happened. So with that being said, I just don't know where all my bitches is at. Where's all the people that congratulate me? And like I said, it strongly correlates with when I got my LLC and I announced that I got my LLC, or even when I announced that my website was up and popping. It's like, I would think that everybody that encouraged me would be knocking down the door with orders and things of that nature. No. I even had a girlfriend say that, I wish I had something like that going on. And before you knew it, she opened up her small business, which I'm glad that I could be the motivation, which she'll never say. But I'm glad she did that. But in a sense, I'm like, bitch, you ain't call me and say congratulations for getting my car? Like, you got that much going on, sis? So, I don't know. But we about to clean all this up. Should I do... Yeah, I'm going to let this set in. So this is like my new favorite concealer. I love the size of this thing. And I just put it under my eye. So I'm not a makeup guru. So I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh, don't do it like this. Don't do it like that. Girl, bye. Girl, bye. This is me. This ain't you. This is me. So... yeah, I just feel like I get a little lonely as far as expecting people to really congratulate me. Like, I just feel lonely. And I just be wanting more love. But it's okay. It's really okay. Because what I'm not going to do is let that stop a show. It's not going to stop no show. Period on her. Period on her. So I do kind of make it even a little bit. And then I let it sit while I do other things like my lashes. So it's hard for me to do my lashes, but I definitely can put on a glue and let it dry while I chat. And I sell glue as well for my lashes on my website. These lashes are really, really good to the point where I have a small container of them. This container is so beat up in terms of makeup on it, but I have them stored to where I don't have to open up new lashes. I'm just doing it for the sake of the video. But I want to learn to be happy with what I have going on. I may be encouraging you as well when I talk, but I'm more so talking about me. I want for me to always be happy in the current, in the now, not always sabotaging and being ungrateful for what I have going on. Now, I've been here for a very long time in this location, but it's not necessarily wanting luxury, because that's not the case. Let me put my hair back a little bit. I love these little clippers. They're so cute because they really don't ruin the style. They just pull your hair back a little bit. So it's not about just wanting luxury. It's more so I want better for myself. So I've been in this apartment for 5 years. I'm surprised that I've been here so long, honestly. And it's been a struggle because, like I said, me working part-time, my ex leaving without any notice, and him, being somewhat of a provider for the household that we did have at the time together. But I just feel like I need more space. I knew I would outgrow this space because I have a lot of clothes, a lot of shoes. I'm a fashion girl, a fashion designer. I have sewing machines galore. I have mannequins, dress forms, big shit in a little place. But I knew I always would outgrow this place and it would be time. But I always put myself on such a time to where it was like, girl, are you being realistic? So realistic as far as you don't know where this money is going to come from for your next place. So I just moved my eyelashes out of the way. So I do brush them down with this small little spoolie. I got this from e.l.f. It came with a pencil, but it kind of worn down. But I just brushed it out the way. So I'm like, yeah, I really want more for myself. And I feel like I rushed it. Like I rushed it to the point where I can know what I want, and then I can just push myself into something. And I'm like, oh, I'll wing it when I get there. You can't wing stuff when you get there. At all. So just 2 weeks ago, I had such a breakdown. Like, I was like, I'm going to leave this fucking apartment. I'm going to pack up everything. And I'll just have this money, and I'll go to a new place. And I was like, I'll go to my mother's. I'll stay there for a while. And I'm like, girl, something happened within literally the 24 hours before I was supposed to go to my mother's house. And I was like, no, I'm not doing it. The reason why I said I'm not doing it is because me and my mother can be on the best of terms when I'm not living at her house. If I'm living in her house and at the time, she had a husband and he was there and his kid was there and things of that nature, and I still consider his kid my brother. That's still my brother in my mind. And it is. I don't care. But he wasn't really my stepdaddy. You know what I mean? I didn't claim that man as my stepdaddy because it was so much fucking drama to the point where I had been kicked out of my mother's home an array of times. And that those type of situations would literally cause us to not speak, or if we did speak, it was only if it was important, or if we was around each other, I was just having the worst anxieties because I'm like, I never would speak about how I felt. Like I would brush it off and be like, oh, that's just my mom. I'm just going to love on my mom, which I do. I love my mom to death. But when we lived together, it just never worked out. And it always was just better when I was on my own, And I can count on, not even one hand, I can count on maybe 4 or 3 fingers how many times I called my mom for like maybe $20 or something like that. Like I never really needed much because I knew how to finango. I knew how to manage what I had going on. If I only made a certain amount of money, I knew how to beautify myself and slay with what I had, or how to pay bills with what I had. So I never could understand some of the discourse that I would have with her and people in my family when it came to them speaking on, what I should be doing and things of that nature, because I've never been that girl to call and ask for, money at hand or anything. It was just always hard for me to understand where they was coming from. It would just more so feel like I was always being judged, and I just never had time for that. So although I'm in this small space and I'm like, oh, I need to break away from here because it's causing the biggest stress. Couldn't do it. So about a week and a half ago, literally, I packed up this entire apartment. This entire apartment is in boxes, all but the things that I need for like every day. And all but my mother and maybe whoever she told, which is kind of like everybody. I feel like when you go through things, your mother tells everybody. She tells everybody. She tells co-workers. She tells your grandmother, your uncle, people that you don't talk to every day, but clearly she do. So I don't know if it was just me being pissed off that she told everybody that I was coming back to the house, or me realizing that I don't have to go back to the house. I'm just going, I'm just giving up too soon. I was just saying to myself, I'm sick of paying this landlord. He's not doing what he's supposed to do. And I really want better for myself. And I'll just stay at my mother's for the next 30 days. And then I'll just find a place. Not thinking that, girl, you had the worst anxiety living there. You did not feel grown. You didn't feel like an adult. You didn't feel like you were treated as an adult. None of that. I didn't consider any of that shit. And I don't think a parent will ever see you as a full-grown adult. It doesn't matter how grown you think you are. They will always have more insight and more, just a better understanding in a realist type of way than you do, because you're younger and because your era is so, just so ambitious that we can oftentimes fall very short from the reality. So I'm thinking, this can happen within the next 30 days. I could have been there for the next 2-3 months. And I just walked away from a place where I had my own key to. So I'm like, I'm not doing that shit. I'm too old for that shit. I'm 33 now and I can't fucking take it, being there and feeling like I'm basically being trained all over again. You know what I mean? So this eyelash is really doing its own thing. So I just decided that I'll stay here for a little while longer, even though this is not and I'm just moving my hair out the way. Even though this is not my dream spot, it's still my home. So me making that rash decision, everything is in boxes and I'm totally going nuts. So I'm still looking for an apartment. I'm still looking for a new place. And I still have to pay the rent here. So that's still taken away from what I could be using for this new place. So it's prolonging. And aside from that, the things that I have an issue with my landlord, he's not fixing. There's random leaks in here. just not comfortable. I can go through a whole list of things. It's not worth what I'm paying. But, I have to be proactive. So it's a matter of staying strong, staying diligent. So I'm still, open to clients. I'm still open to, perfecting my online website. I'm going to post pictures to my other line of business. I have 3 different Instagrams. 1 is personal and 2 that are business. And 1 is fashion, which is my handmade fashions, and the other is my eyelashes and makeup stuff. So I will be posting pictures to my eyelash website, showing them pretty much, new looks, talking about my lashes and things of that nature. And I'm still just putting forth effort, and I'm still trying to grow my channel, even though my channel is so small. But I have to be grateful because it's growing. I used to say that about my apartment. My apartment is so small. I grew so much in this apartment. And that's one of the final things that I wanted to touch on is that never minimize what you have going on. In this space, I have created the most beautiful looks. I have made looks for Fashion Week. I have done looks for all different type of clients. I've worked with high-end clients. I've connected with high-end people. I've brought big time people into this studio apartment, and this studio is so tight, it's crazy. And when they see it, they're like, oh, it's comfortable, it's cute, although the environment isn't the best around me outside of my door. I have really still did my thing. I just still showed hustle, and I showed that I had tenacity, and that I was just about my fucking business. So if you have that drive and you stay consistent, it doesn't matter if things fall off the wagon. It doesn't matter if people root you on or if they don't, because I have people that look up to me and they say, oh, I admire what you do. I admire your I just admire what you do. I have so many people that say that. So with that being said, I'm like, how do you admire what I do? You have like the latest vehicle. You have the biggest house. You know what I mean? You have children. You have a husband. You have all of this going on. How do you admire me, the one that's like living in a box with a big ass dream? And they're like, girl, you just don't know how good you got it. And I'm like, tell me. I really be needing y'all to tell me. I'm almost about to cry. But I really be needing y'all to tell me, because if I don't know, I'm out here aimless. I'm just doing it thinking that, a few people see me and that's that. You know what I mean? But a lot of people be saying like, girl, you just don't know how good you got it. And I'm slowly starting to realize, praying and manifestation and things of that nature is like a huge thing, because like I said, I didn't have to pay for my car. It was gifted to me. I have to pay on the insurance and stuff like that, but I don't have to pay a car note and things of that nature. So with that being said, that's one of the ways that I have to realize that's a blessing that some people just don't get, whether they got it or not. Like, you really just got it better than what you ever thought. And it's kind of scary, because I'm like, wow, what I'm praying for, I'm really getting. Like, I'm really getting what I prayed for. Like, I'm really getting me, the person that cries all the time about all the things that went wrong in my life, the person that thought I had the person that I wanted to be with for the rest of my life, the person that's single, the person that, went to school and got the degree and got the LLC, but the business is still slow. I'm that girl. Like, I get very, I don't know, I second guess it all. So I know a lot of people are like, girl, don't think like that. Don't measure yourself against other people, which I don't measure myself. There's nobody I measure myself up to it's just me saying that you can do better, you can do better, you can do better. Like I said, that guy that's saying think big, bitch. I hear that every 5 minutes in so many ways. And sometimes I do feel like my dreams are bigger than me, and I'm a big girl. So I don't know. I take a lot of chances, and I've had a good friend say to me, a lot of chances that you take and a lot of things that you do, I could never do. And the way I had perceived that was, am I doing something wrong? Like, that's all I could think about. Like, am I doing something wrong? Because he never elaborated and he never said, what he meant by that. So now I'm thinking, damn, like, what the fuck do that mean? So I don't know. I guess me being on YouTube and literally put myself out there to the world, to people that may only pick up one episode or one video and judge me off of that, or maybe because of me going out on a limb and meeting new clients and sending new emails and working with people that people, just working with different people. Maybe I don't know what the fuck he thought when he said that to me, but that shit just stuck in my head. And it's not just that. A lot of stuff that people say to you at times will stick in your head. And there's a saying, there was a saying that I remember distinctively. If someone says something negative, or if you perceive it negatively, that plays 1,000 times in your head. Like, you won't, it's not that you won't, you can probably get it out your head, but it replays. And it's like, you wonder, you know what I mean? So I just was like, damn, I wish I would have had the courage to say, what the fuck what you mean by that? And he probably meant good by it, but I just didn't take it as that. I took it as, am I doing too much? You know what I mean? And I have this channel, and I have 600, I know exactly the number as of today, 641 subscribers. And honestly, I don't know who these people are, because when I talk to my good friends and family, they're like, no, I didn't watch it. And look at me like I'm retarded for even thinking that they would watch it. So I'm like, y'all must not be my demographic. Like, clearly. So that's just what it is, I guess. So it's just, that's the update of what I've been feeling. And just to bring it to a close, I want women to be confident. And even though you are going through something and you are thinking of things that could literally throw you off, I want you to know that you're bigger than your thoughts. That what people think of you and what they put out there, sometimes it's literally meant to throw you off. Sometimes they don't know what to say. You know what I mean? Sometimes they're projecting negativity because they don't understand it, because of, your ambition and your go-get-emness just scares them to a point. It makes them think. It makes them question, well, damn, if she doing that with a penny and a hole in it, then I should be making magic. I should be able to fly with Harry Potter. And it's like, no, not necessarily. You don't have her insight on all of this. You don't have her drive, or you would have quit a long time ago if you was only working with a penny with a hole in it. So with that being said, you just can't let anybody dictate to you their thoughts about what the fuck you got going on. If this is your world and they just a squirrel trying to get a goddamn nut. So that gangster spirit that I just had, all that sauce that I just had, I maintain that to where it's kind of impossible to throw me off. If you throw me off, I ain't gonna lie, some things do put me out of commission. To the point where I need a day or two. I may be crying, I may be sleeping, and I may be eating the wrong snacks. But definitely, when I come back, I'm coming back 10 times harder, baby. 10 times harder. You gonna think Holyfield knocked you the fuck out when I come back. I ain't never met a person that ain't got lost once they cross the boss. So with that being said, you can have your day to sob and think and cry and whatever. But when it's all said and done, baby girl, get your ass up and show them who the big dog is. Okay? Show them who the big dog is. And after you show them who the big dog is, never go back somewhere where they had you fucked up. Meaning, if you got that vibe that they ain't on your wave and they not your cheerleader, then get lost. Don't be around them. And I'm gonna be quite honest with you. I've been people's cheerleader. I've been that girl on the phone, and if it's a prayer line, we're gonna pray about it. If it's something that you want, I'm gonna wish it for you, baby. And if it's something that you get, I'm gonna congratulate you and I'm gonna celebrate with you, even though I ain't got it. Even if I ain't got it, I'm gonna celebrate with your ass. But if it's not, in a sense, sometimes it gotta be a give and take. I don't have to always get shit from you, but sometimes it gotta be a give and take. And with that being said, child, you can't be the only one sitting around giving out all these good wishes. And that's just what it is. Okay, divas and gents, I'm finally done with the look. It's just something really, really cute. Green is my favorite color, so I did do a little green on the eye and the eyebrow. Not a professional makeup artist. I just love to create little looks. I did put some flips in the hair, and you know what? Like I said, I've been saying it on a couple of vlogs. This is regular Saga Remy hair from back in the day. Child, this is going on what, the 3rd or 4th week of wearing this hair. I washed it since my vacation, still came back to life, still has a lot of flow and body. Do not sleep on it. 2 packs for about maybe $120, but it behaves. You can get it long, you can get it short, it behaves. So I put a little flip in it, did a pink lip. So yes, I really thank y'all for watching this video, and Let me know if y'all like videos like this. Let me know if you like this look. I did put a little oil on, put a little bit of Chanel perfume just to give myself a little pizzazz. And this is me for today, baby. I didn't put on any nails. I was thinking about putting on some press-ons. May do that next time, next go round, just to give y'all life, okay? But at the end of the day, yes, get into it. Make yourself pretty, post some pictures, call Bay on FaceTime, and just give. So thank y'all for watching. I love y'all. Peace. And until next time.